The 28th day of the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, the losses of the enemy army are colossal. According to official data alone, Putin's troops have lost more than 15,000 soldiers, more than 500 tanks, 1,500 armored vehicles, 99 aircrafts, and more than 120 helicopters. From the conversations intercepted by the Ukrainian security service, it is clear that the enemy is completely demotivated and weak in spirit.
We have good news.
Which one? Will you make me happy?
No, the good news is that you will be less worried. We're going back.
This is why mobilization is now taking place in 8 federal districts of Russia, but it is taking place quietly, almost clandestinely.
They don't write anywhere about it, but the military registration and enlistment offices throughout their own departments, even the Russian Guard, deliver summons.
The Kremlin public relations specialists of the bloody war in Ukraine have come up with a completely new advertising move. Now the information about service in the so-called Second Army of the world is placed in the utility bills. Russia also began to recruit contract servicemen through the Avito classifieds website. The first sentence after the word service, the marketplace offers vacancies for military service under contract. Salaries are promised from 20,000 rubles to 140,000. At a new exchange rate of the ruble, this is from 190 to 1,300 US dollars. This is how much Russia values the lives of the people it sends to their certain deaths in Ukraine. According to military expert Oleg Zhdanov, new mobilized to the Russian army should be expected in Ukraine in at least a month.
It is difficult to say how many they will mobilize, but I think that the Russian government plans to mobilize about 30 to 40,000.
However, this is not the end of the hypocrisy. When the conscripts ran out, Russia already began sending cadets from military schools to fight in Ukraine. The Ukrainian armed forces received documents that refute the so-called fairy tales of the Russian Ministry of Defense and Putin. Young men who have not even graduated from military schools are fighting and dying in Ukraine. According to Ukrainian intelligence, Putin and his accomplices are planning to involve minors from the Armia organization in the war with Ukraine. This is a kind of modern Russian Hitler Youth organization, which is distinguished by its radical propaganda work amongst young people and children. Children from the age of 8 become members of the organization. The junior army also operates in areas temporarily occupied by Russia in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions and in Crimea. There, even before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia, the occupation authorities conducted a mobilization there. Now the Russian occupants continue their forced mobilization in certain areas of Donetsk and Luhansk regions.
Thus, according to the available information, the budgetary organization of Stanitsa Luhanska village community are notified of the need for male employees aged 18 to 60 to come to the local police department for registration on April 1st, 2022. The reasons for such registration are not explained, although it is related to the next wave of mobilization in the 2nd Army Corps to be sent to the areas of combat operations, General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reports. Of course they have no right. They are citizens of Ukraine, even though they are passported.
Men in certain areas of Donetsk and Luhansk regions are afraid to simply go out in the street. After all, the occupation gendarmerie might catch them there.
In this case, if a person wants to avoid mobilization, it is necessary to say that he is very ill and make a fake certificate.
They also raised the draft age from 55 to 65. Now old people are also sent to their deaths in Ukraine, like this 60-year-old man.
I am Georgy Yurovich, born in 1967, a native of the city of Makeyevka.
However, Russia is still unable to break the desire of Donetsk residents to return home to Ukraine. On the popular social media platform TikTok, residents of certain areas of Donetsk and Luhansk regions are already making videos in support of Ukraine and Ukrainian servicemen. Reported by Pavlo Steinmach, Anastasia Zhuk, UATV News.